Hello, and welcome back to yet another episode of Olio. My name is Elijah, and I am super excited to talk with you today. Today's topic is going to be pretty good, I think. I like talking about, on this podcast, things that are kind of nostalgic in a way. Just because I'm a very nostalgic person and I like talking about the past and kind of, just thinking about that a little bit, different aspects and things of things that have already happened versus things that are ongoing. But, so that's what we're going to do today. But before we get into that, I want to give a bit of context as to what's going on in my life today and this week. This past week I had a pretty busy week rather, of work. I work at a restaurant, so it's can be very busy and can be very tiring sometimes, but also very rewarding and satisfying at other times. So I had a lot of that this last week. Honestly, I haven't been up to too much. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's pretty much it. I had work, and I've been working on, of course, more music stuff and things like that. I'm super excited. I mentioned it, I think, in last week's episode that I had a really exciting collaboration project coming out, and it came out last Wednesday, so it's almost been a week, and it's gotten really overwhelmingly positive support from folks who have been, watching it or leaving comments on it. And Alexa and I have just been really thankful for that. We've been looking at different comments and sending each other things and being like, oh my gosh, check out this comment. And it's been really sweet. So thank you. If you're one of the folks who's watched that video, thank you for doing that. It means a lot to me and Alexa as well. So thank you. I see a comment from Tomoso, my good friend. Hello. Welcome to the podcast. So the topic I want to talk about today is getting older. I'm getting older. And my title for this is actually, if you've heard Billie Eilish's song, Getting Older, that's where my brain was when I was setting this up today. Lovely song. If you've not heard Getting Older by Billie Eilish, there's a song recommendation for you right off the bat. Check that out. It's really good. She's my favorite artist, and that's probably my favorite song by her. So by proxy, it's then my favorite song. Getting Older, really sweet and well written, and it's kind of my inspiration for the conversation I wanted to talk about today, which is getting older. You guessed it. So where I want to start with this is just the last couple of days in particular, I've been in this place where I'm like, oh man, like I'm feeling so old. like I'm feeling really old. And it's led me to think a lot about, why do I feel like that? Or like, what it's letting me kind of zoom out and be like, wow, I guess I am old. And, compared to what I once was, right? I'm 20 years old. I turned 20 in February of this year. And it's crazy thinking that by next February, I'll be 21. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, but pretty much yesterday was one of those days that was like, wow, it really got me thinking. That's when I started planning for today's topic, was yesterday. Wow. Did you hear that in my voice? That was crazy. I see a comment that says, "You're not looking that old, bro." Yeah, okay. I'm only 20. I'm 20, but I feel old. And so yesterday I went to my parents' house. So right now, for those who don't know, I'm living in my own apartment that I work for and I pay for with my own money. I pay for, the utilities and car insurance and internet and all that kind of thing. And I'm doing that myself. I work for it and I pay for it. And that's adult stuff, I'd say. I see Tomoso says the kalimba in the background. For those of you watching online, there is a kalimba on the wall. You'll be able to see it in the video version, and it is right behind me. Some of the choices I got to do when I have my own apartment, I was like, yeah, I want to hang a kalimba on the wall, so I did. And there it is. And it was just all part of getting older, and I was moving out of college, and then boom, all of a sudden I'm in my own apartment and I'm paying for my own stuff, and it's just like, whoa. That happened really fast. And yesterday, it all comes back to yesterday when I went to my parents' house, which is about 10 minutes from not even, it's probably 7 minutes from my house. I went there to dye Easter eggs because we've always dyed Easter eggs growing up. And not everyone could be there in my family, but it was me, my mom, and my youngest brother, Camden, and we got together at their house and we dyed Easter eggs. And it was so much fun to sit there and do that. And one of the weird things about that is a couple of years ago, when I was living at that house, I think if I went to go dye Easter eggs, everyone was like, all right, we're going to go dye Easter eggs, it might not have been a thing that I really wanted to do that much. You know what I mean? Because I probably would have been like, oh, all right, I guess we'll go do it because, whatever, we'll go dye Easter eggs because it's tradition, so we'll do it. And it would be fun, right? But just 1 year later, and I moved out, and it's like, oh my gosh, yes, let's go do that. Let's go do that together as a family, whoever's there. Let's go do that. I'm so psyched to do that. And I did it with my mom. I did it with my youngest brother, and it was so good. We just hung out, we laughed, we had a good time, we dyed Easter eggs, we caught up, and I was at that house, and it was weird because that house now, even though I moved out of that house into college in September. It's now April. So I can't do that math, but it's been a few months. It's only been that long since I've moved out. And when I go to that house now, it feels different. It no longer feels like my house, like my home. It feels like a weird combination. It's so strange going to that house because it feels homey, but it doesn't quite feel like my home anymore. Even though it is technically kinda still. None of my stuff is there, but my family's there. And it's just weird having that having that change. I see a chat that says, take care, have a good day. Thank you so much, friend. You too. And it feels like, and now it feels like my parents' house and not my house anymore. But it is my house. Again, it's this weird mental thing that I'm going through, going like, wow, that's so strange. And my dog is there, and I haven't seen my dog in a while. And I'm like, oh, my dog, Nellie. She's so sweet. I love her. And I got to see her. And my parents are also, now to compound on this a little bit, my parents are also doing large renovations on the top floor of their house. So I haven't seen a lot of it being finished or being worked on. So when I show up, it's like, wow, it's of course it's the same space, but it's now physically different, and mentally I'm dealing with it and it's different. And it's just like really got me thinking about how my relationship with all of that has changed in just a few short months, and how quickly that happens with something like that. So another thing that I was thinking about in terms of getting older is how my relationship is changing with both my parents and my brothers, so my family, what that looks like. Now, my relationship with my parents, I feel like, has been very similar ever since I was a little kid. My parents are amazing. I could not ask for better parents. I'm so lucky that I ended up with who I got. Even when I was dropping out of college just a few months ago, they had my back on it. And we thought about it, we talked about it, and they were like, yeah, cool, all right. We trust you. And they've been that awesome and that cool and that chill and understanding for my entire life. Which is really cool. I see Mom entered the chat. Oh, that's my mom. She just entered the chat. Hi, Mom. I was just talking about you. I was saying how lucky I am that I ended up with the parents that I did, because and that you guys have been so chill with everything that I've pretty much ever done, like moving, dropping out of college and talking to you guys about that. And you were just like, yeah, cool. All right. We'll roll with that. And I just feel really lucky that I had the parents that I did and that I do. Yeah. And growing up, my relationship with them has been so similar throughout my whole life. And I didn't, and it's so strange because people always tell you like, oh, when you get older, you'll understand the things that your parents did for you, and you'll understand the things that, you did growing up. You'll get it all when you get older. And when I was younger, when I was a younger kid, I was like, oh yeah, sure. But like, I think I get it now. Like, I'm sure people just say that, and it's not a true thing. People say, oh, you'll get it when you're older. I was like, no, probably not. I think I get it now. Then I got older and it really, and I always respected my parents, and I always was so grateful for everything that they did. And I recognized that all the way through, but it wasn't until I moved out that I was able to look back and go like, wow. Like, and really see the sheer amount that my parents did for me all the way through raising me and taking care of me, growing me, molding me, and encouraging me to be my own person, all the way up until I was now starting to make my own really big life choices. And I was starting to do this stuff kind of on my own. And they were there for all of it, My mom says she has to head out, but she loves me. I love you too, Mom. And it was all the way through. And still now, right? When I went to my parents' house yesterday to dye Easter eggs, they were like, "Here, take some food." And they sent me home with like a big grocery bag of all this food that they'd gotten. They were like, "Oh no, here, take this. And they filled me up and they're like, "Oh, okay, drive safe. Like, we love you." And they sent me home with that. And I was just like, oh, like, I'm so lucky. And again, a couple of years ago, I may not have understood that all the way. I may not have seen just how much, that they really did and would do when I entered times that were kind of crazy and weird, like college and moving out of college and all that kind of stuff. So really lucky for my parents. And the next, but again, my relationship with them has been fairly constant and consistent, and I've just been, I've had that for my whole life. But a relationship that has changed greatly while I've been growing up and getting older is with my two younger brothers, Logan and Camden. We're almost exactly a year and a half apart. Me to Logan and then Logan to Cam. So me and Cam are almost exactly 3 years apart. And growing up, we had so many different relationship changes because of our age and just things that we were up to in life. So for a little while, it was just me and my parents, and then me and Logan came around. And me and Logan, as little kids, were, of course, great friends because we were just little kids. It was just two brothers. We were good friends. And then Cam, and all three of us were really good friends when we were all younger. And, like, things changed, as we were little kids. Naturally, we were finding that, maybe there was a period of time where Logan and Camden shared a bedroom. And, me and Logan shared one for a while when we were kids, and then Logan and Cam shared one. So we naturally got along with that person a little bit better during those periods of time than perhaps the other brother. So it changed a lot. And we used to be, we did everything together, but we didn't, I guess we did everything together, but we didn't make an effort to do everything together. We just did because we lived together. If we were going to go do something or go play a game or something, it was with your brothers because who else would you do it with, They're at home with me and I'm at home, and we would go do stuff. And, when we had friends over, for the most part, they were all of our friends. Like, we had two friends of ours who lived down the street who we were super good friends with, still in touch with now. And they were all three of our friends, and we were their friends. Like, they were two brothers, and they were, we were all just friends. And it wasn't, oh, this is Elijah's friend and this is Logan's friend. Like, no, we were just all, you know what I mean? Like, we shared everything. And we didn't make an effort for that to happen. It just kind of naturally would happen because we were all sharing the same space, all growing up and living together. And so it's just kind of what happened. But if we wanted to go, when we started to get a little bit older, so like middle school, high school, especially that area, I see a comment from Joshua too that says, "Yo, Olio Pog." Hello, my friend. Olio Pog. Indeed. That's facts. When me and Logan were getting older to become in middle school and high school, we would still do things with each other at the house when we were all together. But when we went to go out, to go to go out to eat or go out to something, it was going out with friends. And it would change so that, I would, or even work or something like that. Like, we would go out and do that with our friends and then come back to us brothers at the house and then go out and then come back. And we weren't really super close, I would say. And that was probably the period of time where we were the least close, I would say. Not because we weren't Not because we were trying to not be close. There was nothing that we weren't butting heads in any way, really. It was more just naturally we were trying to go out with friends, and then we would come back home, and it was just like we were just living together, like, hey, see each other in passing, and like still hang out with each other at the house, of course. But we weren't really doing as much together because we were starting to go out with friends. And I'd say, again, that was probably the time when we were the least connected. And now we're in this stage of life. We've all gotten older, and this is the coolest. I never saw this coming when I was younger. I didn't know how this was going to work when I was younger. I had no idea what was going to happen to us as brothers. I had no clue. And now we're this spot where it's like the coolest thing ever. I'm 20. I have my own apartment. My younger brother, Logan, is 18? He is living in college. He has a job. He has a car. My youngest brother, Cam, he's 17? Again, he's living at my parents' house still, but he's a junior in high school. He has a car and a job. And we're in this place where I would have thought, oh, okay, so as we get older, we just kind of become more and more distant until we're just kind of far friends type of thing, is what I would have thought when I was younger. And I was kind of bracing for that. If you listen to, this sounds like a weird plug of mine. I was not planning this. This just came into my head. If you listen to my song, Our Days, that I wrote in my last album, it's really feeling that weight of like, I'm losing time with these brothers, with these guys. I'm losing time, and we're growing up, moving away, and that's it. We're nearly halfway there through all the times we'll share. That's part of the lyrics that I wrote. And it's like, I'm going to lose them. But now it's like the coolest time period. And again, as we get older, like really older, right? This might change again as if people actually move physically from like this New Hampshire area that we're in. If people really move away, then this might change again, but that's okay. Right now I'm loving, and it's pretty much, we all live in different places now. None of us see each other every day. Like we see each other, I don't know. Maybe, I see Camden more than I see Logan because him and I work at the same place, so I bump into him at work often. But none of us live in the same place, so we see each other not that often. But now, when we go out and we're like, oh, we're going to go make plans to do something, and we could go do it with friends, and we do it with friends. We all have each other. Now, instead of sharing friends like we used to when we were younger, we all have our own groups of friends and our own friends that we go do things with and hang out with. But now, on top of that, when we want to go out and do something, like, we have each other to go out and do things with. When we never, ever used to do that before. Like, we would go out with our friends and come home to us. Now, we're going out with each other because we want to hang out. And we want to meet each other and go do something together. And it's this different relationship where we're making more of an effort to go out and do things. And it's all naturally happening because we're seeing each other less and we miss each other. We don't see each other every day. So now, like, I've gone out to restaurants with my brothers. I've gone and, hung out on a, evening and done something random, or had them come here and we've just hung out and played games or made music, or just hung out. Like, and it's different because, like, we're just hanging out now, and updating each other on each other's lives. Like, oh, what's going on for you? Oh, what's going on for you? Like, catching up, which is the strangest thing to be doing with people that you've lived with your whole life and known everything, every little thing about. Because when we were living together, I knew everything that was going on in their lives, everything. Now I don't. And so when we hang out, like, it's fun. And we make an effort to go out and hang out and do something. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I never would have seen it coming. And And it makes those times that we hang out so sweet because in the end, we're not just friends, like when we go and hang out with friends, like it's lovely and we all have our own friends, but we're not just any old friend when we go to hang out. We're brothers. So we connect in ways that we just don't with friends. Like we can communicate. It's so tough to be able to describe how it works because like it's kind of like this magical property when you've grown up with someone, like you just connect, you click in a way that you don't with anyone else. With your senses of humor and the way you're thinking. And even when one of my favorite parts of my job right now at the restaurant is when I work with my youngest brother, Camden, who works there as well. Because, and people, other employees and things love when we work there too, and guests who come in are like, hey, you guys look similar. Like, what's up with that? But I love working with him because we work together so well. Like, I work better with my brother Cam than I do with anyone else in that restaurant because we just boop, little things, little bits of communication, and we know exactly what we're trying to do. We read each other perfectly. And we can complete each other's tasks without even talking to each other. We know what the other person's going to do, and it's crazy. And we just work so well. And it's that kind of connectedness that I feel with, and my middle brother Logan too. Whenever we go to hang out, work on things together and go have fun together, whatever, like we connect on that level, even though we're completely different people nowadays. When we were younger, we were all much more similar, I'd say. Nowadays, we are completely different people. All of us have completely different styles, have completely different hobbies, do completely different things with different people. But that connectedness still applies, which, again, just blows my mind. I don't know how that works. I don't know what kind of magical powers brothers possess that allows that to happen, but it's really cool, and I really love it. And I am so grateful for getting to grow up with siblings because I can't imagine my life without it. Like I really can't. I cannot imagine what it would be like without them. This podcast started with my brother Logan. Completely different style and theming. It was actually more of like a comedy bantering conversation. Maybe I'll have to have Logan on again for a good time. But yeah, if you scroll back down to the first couple episodes of Olio, that'll throw you back right there. That's some old stuff right there. Yeah, with my brother. So love that. And yeah, I mean, overall, this growing up thing has been, I don't know. I can't really just describe it in a word or two. I was going to try to right there, but that's not really possible. I do want to end us off with a question for you to think about and kind of sit with throughout the next week. This conversation definitely took us in a more of a direction of family and emotionally growing up, more than physically, right? So maybe what we can think about today, how has your relationship with either your siblings, your parents, or your caretakers, whoever, how has that changed as you've grown up? Do you feel like more connected with them now than you did when you were younger? Do you feel less, like maybe more distant because you've moved out or something like that? Or maybe the same amount, but just in a different way? Think about that. And if you want to talk about it, message me somewhere and let me know what you think. with that being said, that is pretty much all I wanted to touch upon today. I'm not sure what next week's topic will be yet. I'm very bad at planning these, but I have a great time doing them. So for all of you who have tuned in online on the live stream and listening on podcast platforms, thank you for tuning in, as always. I appreciate you. And I will see you all in tomorrow's YouTube video. It's a good one, trust me. Thank you. Much love. Have a good one. Peace.